Hi everybody, Jeff here. We're in week 8, if you can believe that. We've been at this for 2 months. So glad you're back. Today I wanted to show you 3 playing tips. The first one is, and this is kind of goofy. Sometimes and it comes out different every time. Sometimes I lean into the treble strings on the uke, and sometimes I lean into the bass strings. It depends on the song. Sometimes I realize I'm doing it. Sometimes I realize I'm not doing it. So this particular instruction is a little nebulous. It's a little less clear than maybe some of the others are. So let me just show you what it sounds like. It comes out different every time. I don't have a lot of detail on this. When I say treble strings, we're talking about the 2 bottom strings. Remember that it goes G, C, E, A. G, C, E, A. 4, 3, 2, 1. So for the purpose of this video, these 2 top strings, the G and the C, we'll call the bass strings, right? Because that's bassy. These E, A strings, right? The 2 and the 1, the E and the A, let's call those treble strings, right? Because they're higher. So, all right. So I'll play any little ditty. It doesn't matter. I'm just trying to show you how you can lean into those treble strings and lean into the bass strings depending on the song. Here we go. So that was all treble strings. I'm leaning into these last 2. I did a little walk down on the C, the B, and the C7. So there, you heard all that bass, 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 bass. And then I hit all 4. And lean into the treble strings, okay? There's no rhyme or reason to it. You do whatever sounds good. A friend of mine asked me about these uke tips, and he said, okay, that's cool, but what's the application? He was asking me a lot. What is the application of what I'm showing you when I show you something like that? The application is this. These are playing tips for when you're playing the ukulele, and you try these tips in a song. That's the application. There's no other reason for what we're doing is to take these tips and put them into a song and see how it sounds. So if we did a song, if we did Hot Tamales and the Red Hot, there she got it for sale. Whoops, I didn't do that right. Let's try that again. Hot tamales and the red hot, yeah, she got them for sale. Even that wasn't right, but you get the idea. Treble strings, bass strings. So in a song, sometimes you lean into the highs, and sometimes you lean into the lows. And when I say lean in, I'm talking about what you hit. Most of us are just used to playing all 4 strings. And that's fine, but we could play it. See? Cool, huh? Switching between leaning into the highs or leaning into the lows. All right. In week 2, I think it was, or so, maybe week 3, I taught you a pinch, 2, 3. It was a good 3/4 time picking pattern. I did pinch, 2, 3, pinch, 2, 3, pinch, 2, 3, pinch, 2, 3. And that's a nice 3/4 pattern. But I didn't show you the pinch in 4/4 time. But it doesn't sound good to me doing this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's boring. It sounds good in 3/4 time. A little zippier, huh? But in 4/4 time, that doesn't work. But here's what does work, and the reason I'm bringing this up. If you do a pinch and then a finger picking, like the inside-out pattern, now we have something. That sounds like pinch, inside, outside. So you can go, pinch is 1, right? So this is 4/4 time, remember. So the song needs to go 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. However you want to do your 4/4 time. I like to do it like this. Starting with a pinch, going into a finger picking. In this case, I'll use the inside outside. Pinch, 2, 3, and 4. 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 So I'm pinching on the 1. And whatever you do after that doesn't matter. So that sounds kind of cool. So I like to go pinch and then inside, outside, pinch. Whoops. Pinch, inside, outside, pinch. Side, outside, pinch. 2 and 3 and 4. Pinch, 2 and 3 and 4. Pinch, 2 and 3 and 4. Pinch, 2 and 3 and 4. There, I just did all 4 on the pinch. Pinch, 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 bump, bump, bump. Pinch, 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 pinch. Okay? So all that is you can do any finger picking pattern. Although 4, 3, 2, 1, I never tried that. Pinch, let's see. Pinch, 1, pinch, 4. Nah, it doesn't really work, does it? It's got to be a little zippier. So it's pinch. Pinch, 2 and 3 and 4. Pinch, 2 and 3 and 4. Pinch, 2 and 3 and 4. Okay? Last tip for today. In my mind, I made this up. Probably it's the most common thing in the world. 1,000 people have already done it. But I never saw it anywhere, so it seems to me I made it up, but I probably didn't because it's so simple. And it's a little chord progression that uses these chords. You make a regular G, okay, just a G. And we're going to do that 8 times. So that'll be 2 measures of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? G. 2 measures of 4 or 8 strums. Any way you want to do those strums. And that's the beauty of this last tip. You can finger pick this pattern. You can strum this pattern. You can do whatever. I said pattern. It's a progression, chord progression. Okay. G is our first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we go to a D7. And you can do a Hawaiian D7. It's easier to get to from the G, right? Just lift that middle finger and come up toward your face. You can do the traditional the barred D7 if you wish. The point is, it goes G 8 times, D7 8 times. When you come back to the G, you do it either 2 or 4 times. It doesn't matter. The next chord is a G7. Let's see. G7. Yeah, to the C. Okay. We start with the G, 8 counts. You go to the D7, 8 counts. Go back to the G for either 4 or 2. Come to a G7 for either 4 or 2. And end with a C, 8 counts. Okay? And I'll show you how it goes. So, I'll do it slow. G, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. D7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Back to the G for either 2 or 4. I'm going to do 2. Back to the G. 1, 2, G7. 1, 2. To a C, 8 counts. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, here's what it sounds like at full tempo. Remember, G, 8 counts. D7, 8 counts. Back to the G for either 4 or 2. I'm going to do 2. To a G7, 4 or 2. I'm going to do 2. And then end on a C for 8. All right? It sounds like this. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, G. 5, 6, 7, 8, D7. 6, 7, 8, 2, 1, 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. G. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. D7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 1, 2. Back to the C, okay? So that G, 8, D7, 8, back to the G for either 2 or 4 counts. And then if you pick 2, then do 2 on the G7. I suppose you could do 2 on that G and 4 on that G7, and that would work too. But it's the coolest progression. Let me play it one more time and finger pick it to show you. Here we go. Start on the G. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And end on the C. Isn't that a cool progression? Now again, what's the application of that? I don't know. It sounds cool. Maybe that'll work in a song somewhere. I don't have a song. I just made that stuff up. But when I'm sitting alone and I'm playing, I just sit and go, and I just play that little progression. I just love it. All right. So that's the end of week 8. I hope you learned something on those 3 little tips. Don't be afraid to pause the video. Stay safe. We'll see you next week.